Differences between the chairman duo of ruling Nepal Communist Party has come to the fore, with Chairman Dahal publicly stating about the clandestine agreement to lead the government on rotational basis. Prime Minister and co-chairman KP Sharma Oli, however, has been brushing off such charges as unidentified elements trying to fuel dispute in the party ranks. Good morning, I'm Amar Singh Pradhan. Let's begin with the top stories this hour. Differences emerged between the chairman duo of ruling Nepal Communist Party over leading the government. Oli blames unidentified elements of trying to fuel disputes. Over 100 billion rupees found abused from 56 different government funds. People at large remain devoid of pledged benefits. A factory explosion in the Russian city of Dzerzhinsk injures 79 people. At least 180 homes are damaged. And Liverpool chalk out a clinical 2-0 win over Tottenham Hotspur to lift their 6th UEFA Champions League. Club claims first title as the Reds manager. Let's begin with national political updates. The chairman duo of the ruling Nepal Communist Party have already started exhibiting the differences over party jurisdiction when it has not been a year since the party unification. The intra-party power struggle has come to the fore, especially after Chairman Pushpakamal Dahal stressed on the need of allocating the government's leadership to each chairman for equal periods of time. The activities of the ruling party has remained defunct for the past 1 year due to failure in distributing responsibilities of the leadership to the local levels. Chairman Dahal has publicly been expressing discontent against the party's co-chairman and Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli over the party's and government's performance. Dahal has also been stressing on the need of word-to-word implementation of the 5-point agreement forged during the party unification. Addressing a mass gathering in Pokhara yesterday afternoon, Prime Minister Oli remarked that the elements trying to provoke dispute between the two chairmen have recently become active. Without directly referring to Dahal's statements, Oli said that leaders have recently indulged in power hunger rather than the national development. Chairman Dahal has recently been referring to the agreement forged during unification in his public address as a pressure strategy to ensure the transfer of the government leadership to himself after 2.5 years of Oli's premiership. The funds established by the government with various objectives have recently been mired in irregularities. An assessment carried out by the Public Expenditure Review Commission established by the government itself has revealed that over 100 billion rupees of around 56 state funds have been spent without adhering to basic norms of transparency. The Poverty Alleviation Fund, under the jurisdiction of the Prime Minister's office, has already spent 26.21 billion rupees as of yet. While the real achievement of the fund is a different story, many central office bearers and district-based staff associated with the fund have been drawn into prosecution over corruption charges. The investigation has been initiated following directive of the Prime Minister himself after revelation of significant irregularities in spending the fund's money. The Youth Self-Employment Fund, established by the erstwhile Prime Minister Baburam Bhattarai, has also been a victim of similar irregularities, as only a handful of people having political and power nexus are found to have reaped undue benefits. A majority of state funds have even been operating without abiding by the existing regulations and undergoing independent auditing. And time now for a short break. For more news, do stay with us. Welcome back. Despite the government's claim of prioritizing infrastructure and development projects in the annual budget, a trustworthy basis for the expenditure of the allocated amount still remains elusive. The government has failed to spend the budget allocated for a majority of national priority projects in the current fiscal year. The sluggish trend is likely to continue due to the government's failure in making any concrete efforts to improve the traditional expenditure mechanism. It has already been a decade since the construction of the East-West Postal Highway had started. The 1,792 meters of the National Pride project is estimated to cost 65.2 billion rupees. Although 5 billion rupees has been allocated for the project in the current fiscal year, the biannual assessment shows that only 47% of the budget has been spent so far. The project's budget amount has been increased to 13.63 billion rupees for the upcoming fiscal year. The much-touted Melamchi drinking water project, Bheri Babai diversion and Kathmandu Tharai fast track have also been going through the same plight. The sluggish pace of development of much-needed infrastructures as such has led to the continuous brunt and disappointment of the public in general, as they even feel deceived in the pretext of flamboyant development promises. The leaders themselves are well aware about the fact that mere allocation of budget would not ensure national development. Experts are of the view that along with thorough assessment of long-term consequences of development projects, the government should have an effective and practical expenditure mechanism to actually lead the country towards prosperity. And in our public voice segment, we had asked the service seekers at Sukhajag Ramechhap municipality how easy it has been for them to receive services from the local health center. Let's take a look at what they have to say.
Public voice.
हामी रामेछाप जान्छौं टाढा हामीलाई अहिले चाहिँ नजिकै सुविधा भएको छ हामीलाई गाउँमा स्वास्थ्य चौकी बसेको हामीलाई राम्रो सुविधा भएको छ
पहिला पहिला घण्टौं हिनेर सुविधा नहुँदाखेरि हस्पिटल रामेछाप जान्थ्यौं दिनै दिन अहिले चाहिँ सुविधा छ सरहरु यहाँ आउनुहुन्छ स्वास्थ्य चौकी नजिकै छ
स्वास्थ्य चौकीमा डाक्टरहरुको सेवा पनि हामीले राम्रो पाएका छौं भएको औषधिहरु पनि हजुरहरुले उहाँहरुले हामीलाई राम्रै दिएका छन् औषधिहरु पाइरहेको छ सेवा जो आएको बेलामा राम्रै छ कर्मचारी भेटिन्छ
हाम्रो उपचार सेवा राम्रो भइरहेको छ आजसम्मलाई यहाँ नहुँदा मात्रै हामीले रामेछाप धाउनु परेको छ
स्वास्थ्य चौकीहरुमा जाँदाखेरि प्राय भेटाइन्छ उहाँहरुले
And it's now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And your question is, what is necessary to help spend allocated budget in large-scale development projects? Your options are A, managerial initiative, option B, improved expense mechanism, and option C, responsible contractors and staff. The voting for the question is on. Tap any WS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And now time for sports update.
Sports news.
Liverpool scored a goal in each half on their way to the 6th UEFA Champions League title. Mohamed Salah got off Liverpool to a dream start as the Reds took the lead in the second minute of the match itself, converting a penalty. The early goal provided a huge relief to Liverpool fans and Mohamed Salah, who had limped off from the last year's final against Real Madrid early in the match. In a final that rarely touched the heights of blockbuster semi-finals, Divock Origi doubled Liverpool's lead late in the match to seal the 2-0 victory. Tottenham too had chances, but they were denied by Liverpool keeper Alisson, who saved well from Son Heung-min, Lucas Moura and Christian Eriksen. Although Spurs manager gambled with playing Harry Kane, who was nursing an injury, he had no impact in the match. This was Jurgen Klopp's first title as the Reds manager. The final whistle sparked huge celebrations among the players, management and the red wave of supporters in Madrid's Wanda Metropolitano Stadium. And before we wrap up this morning news bulletin, here's a look at the top stories one more time. Differences emerged between the chairman duo of ruling Nepal Communist Party over leading the government. Only blames unidentified elements of trying to fuel dispute. Over 100 billion rupees found abused from 56 different government funds. People at large remain devoid of pledged benefits. A factory explosion in the Russian city of Zhenzhen injured 79 people, at least 180 homes damaged. And Liverpool chuck out a clinical 2-0 win over Tottenham to lift the 6th UEFA Champions League. Club claims first title as the Reds manager. And those were our latest headlines. Our next English bulletin will air at 11 a.m. Stay with us for more news and entertainment on KTVSD. Have a great day ahead.